What is up, guys? Welcome back to Take It to the House. I'm joined by Thatcher today. No Elijah, as he's got a date or some. I don't know,
His
but
stepdad is in town, so they're going to the Lakers
he's
Jazz
going
game
on a
tonight.
date with his stepdad. Yeah,
That's it, guys. He's just
that's it,
going on a
guys.
date with his stepdad.
But no, we love Elijah. He's cool. Um, so we decided to record the next day after the March Madness National Final Championship, whatever you guys want to call it,
Yep.
the final. UConn absolutely destroying the San Diego State, which I thought honestly I thought this was gonna be a closer game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be closer. I actually thought the Aztecs were going to win it personally, so I was surprised that it was that one-sided.
Can we just talk about how close Florida Atlantic was?
Yeah, man, that was so nuts. That was because was it UConn that hit it or was it San Diego State?
It was San Diego State.
And they hit that last second buzzer
Yeah.
beater. Man, it's been fun. I mean, I didn't watch it as religiously once my bracket was destroyed. I didn't watch it as closely. But like even the early rounds were super fun. And then yeah, I mean a championship featured a 4 and a 5 seed. That's nuts.
Yeah, it ended up being a 4 seed too that won it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was at work when the Final Four was going on, and you can just hear everyone go, "Oh!" I'm like, "What the hell just happened?"
Oh, the
Because I was,
buzzer beater.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I'm like, "What the hell just happened?" Because I was making a roll for a ticket. I was like, "What the?"
That's crazy.
But yeah, Miami got blown out in the Final Four to UConn. San Diego State barely edged out Florida Atlantic. So
Barely.
barely. And then we had our awesome women's national championship LSU.
That was so much more. That was, in my opinion, that final was way more fun because of the drama
Yeah. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark going
going
at
at
it.
it. Yeah.
I did not like how Angel Reese was acting at all.
Well,
Very,
so
very cocky.
here's my I mean, so this has been the talk of the sports world, I would say, for the past couple days. My big issue is that I don't have an issue of the way, like, of the fact that Angel wanted to get back at Caitlyn. Like, that's totally fine with me. Like,
Yeah,
she
I
wanted
get
to do
that.
this back to her and taunt her back. But my only problem, Angel, is that she followed her around and like kept doing it. And I'm like, okay, you've done your part though. Like, that's my thing. It's like I do think that I feel like Angel's been held to a sort of a double standard thing though lately. Because a lot of people are like, this is classless. I'm like, okay, but we have to realize that Caitlin Clark's been acting like this for the whole tournament. So not a huge fan of either. I mean, I love the drama and I'm all about it. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that Angel, like, I liked that she wanted to get back at her and I totally respect that. But it was like the fact that she kept doing it and kept following her around. I'm like, we get it. And they blew him out. I mean, they won by like almost 20. So like there's just, I don't know. I found very little. I think it was being a little overstated though. Like I think that the whole, like, they blew it out of proportion when really it just needs to be like beef and that's it.
Yeah. And like the other thing is like Reese was also kind of acting cocky the whole tournament. I mean, have you seen her
Yeah.
like celebrate
Yeah.
when she beat
Utah.
Utah?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's just disrespectful to be like this, especially when she's following around Clark too. Like,
Well, and that's my biggest thing is like don't talk about, because the one of the things that Angel said after the game, she's like, I don't like disrespect. I'm like, okay, but you just gave a bunch of disrespect.
and you kept doing it the whole game.
Right, like you were
Like,
doing it the whole game, and that's what gets old for me. That's why I really like beefs in moments. So like I
right.
don't know, like off the top of my head, like Draymond Green and what's his name? Dylan Brooks. Like I
Yeah.
like that they're doing, like, they'll have moments in games, or even like, I don't know, Mike Evans, Marshawn Lattimore. They have moments in games, but they don't let that continue throughout the whole game because it's old. It just gets so old. And that's why I'm over I've we'll talk about this NBA and all that later, but like I'm really over Dylan Brooks lately because he's just like he's starting beef with everyone.
None the fact he's getting fined for it, suspended for it,
Right.
all of that.
Yeah.
So it's stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I do really now um uh Jill Biden, the first lady, came out after the game and said, "Well, I think that Iowa should be able to come to the White House. For those of you who don't know, the championship teams of like every major sports championship gets to go take a visit to the White House after they win. And that was so weird to me. Like, and she has since taken it back. And of course, Angel Reese has commented on it since. But that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, yeah, Iowa were really awesome, but they got blown out and they lost in the championship game. So you don't invite both teams. Angel basically said that that doesn't make any sense and that that's, losers don't get to go to don't get to go to the White House. And then Caitlin Clark, I believe, said, she's like, I don't feel like that's our place is to go. Like LSU deserved it. They won. So that was definitely weird though.
I like how Caitlin Clark responded to that though.
I think Caitlin's been responding to everything a lot better than Angel has. I feel like Angel's been setting herself up for more criticism. Whereas, like, I mean, all Angel could have said had been like, you know, even if she would have been like, I wanted her to just have a little bit of taste of her own medicine, and then that's it. But like she proceeded to like talk and talk and talk, and I'm like, dude, you're awesome. Like you play really well, but like just let your game do the talking. And like,
Yeah.
I totally respect that you want to trash talk and like that. I love it. But
It's
there's
natural.
the there's a point where it gets excessive, and that was just excessive. It was just all game long.
Yeah, it's kind of like how they should implement a taunting rule like they have in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah, like it's just excessive.
Yeah.
But last night was disappointing, to be honest. I turned on the game. I didn't turn it on from the start. It was like 19-12 or something. I was like, oh, come on, guys, pick it up, like make it more of an interesting game. And it was a blowout quick.
Yeah, and it was like 24-26 a half, which I thought was pretty close. It was a 12-point game. But yeah. UConn kept it up, scoring 40 points in the second half.
Well, and I think one of
A
the
lot of missed shots too.
yeah, I
Like
was gonna say
they're
something that hurt San Diego State the most is the fact that they rely on points in the paint and they were not shooting the ball well. So once
yeah,
they
and they
take away
were
that paint, they were your one-dimensional team.
yeah, and they had 32% field goal percentage inside and a 26% 3-point.
Yeah.
So even though like the turnovers and the rebounds are more even, I do think that UConn definitely won that shooting battle. Just because UConn had more open shots, more good play design. They also played through what's his name from UConn? Can't remember the top of it.
The big dude, right? He's like
Yeah, the
number
big dude,
24, I think. I can't remember
21.
his name either.
Sanogo.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. So they played a lot through Sanogo and also Tim Newton. So yeah, it was kind of a blowout. And I was hoping that San Diego State could probably keep it close. But
I thought it would be a close game.
yeah, me too. But like, and even San Diego State had a better record than UConn, and UConn still won. And
Yeah, but
seed.
UConn are in a better conference than San Diego State.
That's true, but I still think it was definitely an even game for sure. With height wise.
Going into it, yeah.
So and the spread was pretty close, I would say.
Yeah. Overall, I thought that it was the blowout surprised me. Like I thought it would be a lot closer than it was.
Thatcher, you magically changed shirts.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, just can't deal with the lighting and stuff. It was bugging me. But no, I mean, it was just a little disappointing for me, especially when we've had some really good championships in the past, and that was just not one of them.
Yeah. I agree.
Shout out to Caleb who had Baylor Bears winning it though. I won't let him live that one down.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean,
it was a pretty crazy tournament for both.
Yeah,
that was legit madness.
Yeah, I mean,
both one seeds being out by the Elite Eight, and then.
Yep. Well, and I just want to say that Utah were 2 free throws away from beating LSU. Like, man.
But we probably would have had to face Miami, South Carolina.
Yeah, but if you beat the team that went on to win it, like that, just really bums me out. I think
definitely could have been like a different outcome, like Iowa or like even like if
it
somehow
could have been Utah.
It could have been Utah. It could have been South Carolina. It could have been Miami. It could have been anyone.
Crazy. Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, I don't I'm not disappointed by either tournament though. Like I thought both tournaments were good. I just think both championships sucked.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we
I do
got the
think
drama with Angel and
Caitlin
Caitlyn,
Clark.
but like the score was a blowout.
Yeah. It was more close in the first half than the second half, though, I would
Hmm.
say.
Yeah, and I would say honestly, UConn San Diego State was never really that close.
No.
So, all right. Well, what did you want to move on to next? Out of all the other topics, what do you want to move on to?
Dude, freaking baseball. God damn it. Stupid
I feel you right
San
now.
Fran.
That's all right.
But
Well, are they 1-4?
they're 2-2 now.
Hey, then they're better than the Mariners right now, so it's okay.
But we get blown out to the Yankees twice in the same series. Like, come on.
Yeah,
But
well, and I think you guys haven't even been hitting that well either.
no,
We were
but
so concerned about your pitching.
yesterday we were hitting good with against Chicago White Sox.
Mm,
It was like 12-3. Yeah,
dang,
12-3.
dang.
So yeah, I want to go over this game real quick because um let me see the box score real quick or the game cast. Um There were Jock Peterson hit a home run. Confronto hit a homer. Tyler Estrada homered. Yastrzemski homered. Villar homered twice. So, and Anthony Dislascampy just got a freaking free win at that point. I mean, like, there's a bunch of hits. Like, Giants scored 5 runs in the ninth.
Yeah, that's
So,
pretty nuts.
yeah,
Hey, but that's good. I mean, like bounce back too, right? Like you guys, like the Giants had a tough opening series, at Yankee Stadium too. So it's tough.
yeah. They don't
But
have their home opener till the next series. They're still away.
yeah, that's the opposite of the Mariners. They have both of their first two series at home, which they're not taking advantage of right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to Cleveland and they go to Chicago, I believe, to the Cubs. So, um, no, but the Giants, I think that it's positive that y'all got the win yesterday. Yesterday, right?
Yeah,
Like it's positive to get that, especially coming out of the Yankee series
getting blown out twice.
relatively unscathed, right? You
Yeah.
know, so I would just say, you know, bouncing back is huge, and then, moving on to my boys, it's a struggle too because what I really thought was a great bullpen in the Mariners right now is not looking it right now, which is really
No.
disappointing because it really is like right now it's like Castillo is here and then everybody else is down here. Because Castillo on opening night was amazing. He was so good. He probably could have played all game. Like honestly, he probably could have played all game. Um, and it sucks that pitching is the one that's letting you down because the problem is once you get down in baseball, especially if you get down multiple runs, you're really struggling because it makes the pitcher's job on the other side a lot easier. So I think that's the problem with the Mariners lately. I've watched every game. I've watched almost all of every game. The only game I didn't watch all of was Sundays because I was at work, but I watched like the fifth through the ninth or something. And
Mm-hmm.
what I'm noticing is that if they have a decent defense, if they have good defense and decent pitching, then they're able to stay in it. But it's when you give up 2 runs, 3 runs, even if you give up multiple hits without runs, it drains that confidence. And then what you have to do is you got to come out swinging to come back in the game. Um, One moment though that really stood out to me, it was so sick. Well, there were two. So in the opening game, against the
Against Cleveland,
against Cleveland,
against Elijah's team.
yeah, against Cleveland. I believe, oh my gosh, was it Festa? Can't remember which pitcher threw it, but one of the pitchers threw an absolute like it was like a sinker, and and Jason, what is it? Who is it? Ramirez? Yeah, Jose Ramirez. Oh my gosh, dude, he swung at it. You guys should watch it. He swung at it. It was super low, like probably almost at his ankles. Swung at it and fell over, and like broke his ankles and like fell
No.
over. So funny. But also, big shout out to Julio. He got his first home run on Sunday. and it was the opening pitch of the game, got a home run. So it was sick. I think they'll figure it out. I think something that really has already started to piss me off with baseball fans is the overreaction. Like, it's been 4 games or 5 games. Like, why are we? There are 162 games in this season, and it doesn't really even start to matter until like 3 or 4 months from now. So just calm down. If your team right now, if you're watching and your team is horrible or horrible, just calm down.
Yep.
Give it time. No, the Mariners have the Angels again tonight, and they played decent against the Angels last night. But the problem was that right when we were trying to get back into it, Ohtani hit a 2-run home run, and then you're just like, it was over.
2-run dinger.
Yeah, it sucked, but no, I mean, I'm not worried. I
Yeah.
think it's like there's so much of the season to go, so I'm not worried.
Cleveland and Minnesota are off to a hard start too.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
Minnesota's 4-0. They haven't lost a game yet, and Cleveland's 4-1. They only lost to
the opening game.
opening game against
Yeah, they won
Mariners.
4 straight.
Minnesota's been playing in Royals though.
I have
I mean,
to
they did
say,
kick the shit out of the Marlins though.
I do have to say the one of the series that was so fun for me to watch. I think I watched 2 of the 4. Was the Baltimore Boston series. Oh my gosh, that game, those games were nuts. On opening day, was it opening day? It might have been, yeah, it was opening day, and the Orioles were just hitting run after run after run, and so you were thinking that it was going to be a blowout, and then in like the 8th and 9th, Boston actually started to pick it up, and they were 1 run away from winning the game. It was, I mean, tying the game. That was a really fun series, but Boston is I'm sorry, but they are bad right now. And I mean, who do they have this week? I was just gonna pull that up, but they're not playing well. Why can't I find it? Here we go. So Red Sox went 2-2, so it's not horrible, but they're just not playing very well. So currently the Rays are 4-0, the Twins are 4-0, Rangers are 3-1, Braves are 3-1, Reds are
Yankees
3-1, Padres are 3-2.
Yankees are 3-1 as well.
Yeah, I'm in the
Oh,
American.
you're in there.
Yeah.
Yankees are in the American League.
Yeah, but where are they?
AL East.
Oh yeah, they're 3-1. But I was looking at the Rays because they're the top.
Hmm.
So those are all the top right now: Rays, Twins, Rangers, Braves, Reds, Padres right now. The Mariners are sitting last in the AL West right now, but that's okay. It's lots of baseball still to play. In terms of Elijah's team, Guardians are 4-1, so they're just 1 game behind Minnesota, but you know,
They played an extra game too.
right. So, I mean, again, it's just fun. Opening week was super fun, even though my team lost 4 straight. Like, it's just fun, and I'm glad that it's back. Yeah, it's been fun, and and do we want to talk about the Angels player that was suspended?
For
For
having an
8 games,
altercation.
6 games,
6 to 8 games, I think it was.
it was bad, man. He went up to a
Man.
were they playing the A's, right? They were in Oakland.
Yeah, they were in Oakland.
And he went to this A's fan. Who is the player that I'm thinking of? What was his name?
I do not remember off the top of my head.
I know, I'm gonna struggle. Let me find it. Because I don't want to like talk about this and not know his name.
Radon.
Yeah.
It's a 4-game suspension.
4, that's it.
Yep.
So for those of you who haven't seen it, he basically goes up to this A's fan who is calling him a word. And he just kept yelling it at him, and then he goes up to him and he grabs this fan by the collar and pulls him into him. And it's like, what? You're gonna call me that? You're gonna call me that? That's what you said? I'm like, okay, guys, this is so unprofessional. Like, how many times has he played a game where people are heckling him? Like, why does it have to be this time that you get up and not only confront the fan, but touch him? Even physically touching the fan, that's gone too far, in my opinion. Now, baseball fans of sports in general, they're dicks, right? We know that. But there's no there's no excuse from the player on that point where he could have just kept walking, gone to the tunnel, and left. And he had to go out of his way to get into that fan's face.
Right.
It's too much.
Yeah, so it was originally supposed to be a 5-game suspension,
Which is
but
still not
he
enough, in my opinion.
appealed. He appealed and got a 4-game suspension.
That's just not enough for me. Like you, technically, I mean, I don't know if this falls under the assault category, but like you're physically grabbing a guy's shirt and pulling him into you to yell at him.
Mm-hmm.
How is that only 4 games? Like at least give him like 10.
Yeah.
I don't know. Any
I
other
don't
big?
I think it could have gotten worse if it was more.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about Reese Hoskins when the pitcher almost hit him twice in the head
Yeah, I saw
against the
that.
Mets. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't remember who the pitcher was. It was not Scherzer. Who was it?
Was this the Mets Marlins series
No,
or
Mets
Mets?
Phillies.
Yeah. Okay, because it was just yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was just yesterday. Or sorry, no, it was Nationals. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Also,
Hold on.
while Zach is finding this, quick shout out to Hunter Renfro for what is already going to be like the catch of the season. Holy cow. Did you see that? The behind
Yeah.
the back? Man, it was so crazy to see that ball fly. And you could tell that he wanted to turn his body. And he's like, you know what? I'll just try it. And Otani was just like, oh my gosh. So it was awesome. I mean, opening week is always fun. And then opening week is always also hilarious to see all the fans overreact very quickly.
Okay, it was the Yankees. Phillies and Yankees.
Oh, Phillies and Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought it was the Mets.
New York teams, they all just
They're the same.
they're all the same.
But yeah, Reese homered at some point. Dude, am I just like freaking dumb? Oh my God, I can't find it. Maybe it was against Texas. I don't know. I swear to God, it was Reese Hoskins.
I don't know, man. You're gonna
I
have
don't
to
know
you're
either.
on your own there.
All right, if whoever comments it, I'll give you a big kiss. Kidding.
There you go. Kidding. But
Kidding.
comment the player that Zach is thinking of so we can figure this out for him.
Um, yeah, that's pretty much all we got on baseball.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of major stories out, especially when we've only
yet.
had not even a full week played yet.
Yeah, so there's only been like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, or if you're the Mariners, 5 and you lose 4 almost 4 straight at home.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed too because they were wearing their cream jerseys on Sunday, which are I think their best uniforms. They're so sexy, and they lost. I was just like, man, I hope that they can figure it out. I hope they figure out their hitting too, because it seems like that they've had nights where like they can hit, 5 hits in a single inning, and then they'll go 4 straight innings without a hit, and you're like, guys, you got to figure this out. So, but again, don't overreact, and this is the message to all baseball fans: do not overreact to
Nothing yet.
in a positive or negative way. Don't think that as a Twins fan, don't think that you're winning the World Series after winning 4 straight games.
Yep.
And if your team is 0-4 or 1-4 or 1-3, don't think that you aren't even going to be close to the playoffs. Like there's so much baseball to play, especially because most of the series that were played opening week weren't even interdivisional.
Yep.
So just calm down, everyone.
Calm down.
So, all right. Well, should we take a quick break maybe and then come back with our NFL and NBA?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sounds good. We will be right back. All right, welcome back. So after our little break, we now are going to talk about a little bit of NBA news. There's not a whole lot right now, and then dive into NFL news, of course, as always. So Zach, what do you got?
I just want to talk about the Western Conference right now. It
It's
is
nuts.
so close.
It is.
Denver, Memphis, and Sacramento have clinched a playoff spot for the West, and then Milwaukee, Boston, Philadelphia, Cleveland, and the Knicks, and also Toronto have clinched a playoff spot or
That's
a
crazy.
playoff game. Toronto is clinched.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Well, and I think a big thing is too, not even looking at who's clinched, but like, okay, Clippers are 41 and 38 at 5. Warriors are 41 and 38 at 6. Lakers are 40 and 38 at 7. Pelicans are 40 and 38 at 8. Timberwolves are 39 and 40. Thunder are 38 and 41. Like the only drop off is once you get to the Blazers at 13, they're 33 and 45 as opposed to the
they're
Jazz at
out.
36 and 42. So
My question is, how the heck is Washington already out and
because
they're
of
still in, or they're still? I don't get that.
So yeah, so and then even when you look at the West isn't as tight though. You have 43 and 35 the Nets, which is nuts. Can we say that the Nets are going to make the playoffs?
You mean the
What?
Eastern?
Yeah, and then the Heat are 41 and 37. The Hawks are 39-39. Raptors are 39 and 39. The Bulls are 38 and 40.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a fun. I mean, how many do we only have? Like, we only have a few games left, right?
yeah. This next week will be the last games.
Huge week. Huge week. Big shout out to the Kings, man, for clinching their playoffs for the
At the
first time in how
beam
long?
a while
I mean, it's been a really long time.
since like
So
2000 something.
yeah, huge shout out though. That's awesome. I still don't think that I'm not gonna say I don't think they're legit. I just don't think that they're gonna go to the finals.
Wow.
But it's awesome.
I think they could make. I think they could make second round at least.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, because I mean, that home crowd for the very first playoff series is going to be insane. Like, I wouldn't want to play them.
Right.
Um, and then the Lakers, man, the Lakers might squeak in there.
Yeah. Lakers are
Um,
seventh. So either they clinch
and
number six.
Clippers are doing well too.
Clippers are doing
So
well. The Kawhi back. Paul George is. They got Westbrook too.
Westbrook's been playing really well. So it's
So.
impressive, man. I'm hoping that my Pels can do it. They're in a good spot right now. So especially
Mhm.
without Zion. Um, It does sound like Zion Williamson is getting closer. I guess he's been playing 3v3 and is ramping up to 5v5 this
Mhm.
week. Um, so I mean, if the Pelicans can have him back for the playoffs, that's huge.
Yeah.
It
Um.
does. They'll probably be play-in tournament, but they did that last year. So
Yeah. I mean, they almost made it too.
well, they made it out, and then they made it. They won the
Oh no, they
play-in,
lost. They lost to
and
the
then they
Warriors.
to the Suns.
Oh
They played
yeah.
the
Oh,
Suns.
wait.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The Warriors were
Because
number
they
two.
beat the Spurs
Yep.
in the play-in, and then they went. I think it was it 4-2? I think it was a 6 game series, so 4-2, which is pretty good against the Suns.
No, the
Especially
play.
that's a
No,
Zion
it's a
Williams.
4 game series. Or sorry, 7 game series.
No, no, no. I'm saying that it didn't go like it was a 4-2 win
Yeah.
for the Suns,
Yeah. So
which
they
is
went game
pretty
six.
impressive for a Zion-less Pelicans.
Yeah.
And that was McCollum's first year, so that was pretty awesome. But it's gonna be crazy postseason. I wonder if the
Next.
Jazz can squeak in a playing spot.
Yeah. I'm excited to see Cleveland this year without LeBron.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Too bad Elijah's not here because he'd be eating up the chance to talk about his Cavaliers, but they're really good.
Yeah.
It's fun to see Spida doing well, man.
And it's good to see the Knicks are also in there too after
Yeah,
a while.
yeah. Because I
But
mean, well, one of the best playoff series last year was Trey Young and the Knicks.
Knicks, yeah.
That was so fun.
That
All the
was really
beef and
fun.
stuff. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a super fun, exciting week. Jaws back. Controversial or not, Jaws back. I don't think the Grizzlies look better or worse without Ja.
They didn't like last year they did good without Ja, who was out for like a month and a
You could
half.
almost argue they were better with Ja last season than with him.
Yeah.
So I think that
So
he's got to get his stuff together, though, man.
yeah, he does. But yes, Portland, San Antonio, and Houston are obviously out. Detroit's out. Charlotte's out just because they know LaMelo. Pieces are out. And somehow Washington is out, which doesn't make any sense to me, but oh well. Oh freaking well.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I'm excited this next week. it's going to be heating up a lot. And I do think these games do matter for Dallas and Utah, who Dallas has lost so many games with Luka and Kyrie.
And
Have you
Kyrie.
noticed that? They've been
I
putting
knew
up
it.
so much points and they
The
still lose.
Well, the problem is that they're both ball centric and neither can play defense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't really know what everybody expected them. They're like, "Ooh, finals bound." I'm like, okay, you have two ball centric guards who, like, I mean, again, ball centric is in the name, but they need to have the ball in order to be efficient, and neither are good defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I would even argue, I mean, Kyrie's not great defensively, but I would argue he's better than Luka defensively, at least. So yeah, it's a bummer. It's a bummer just because I think they'd be a good story to watch, like entertainment value. As a
Mm-hmm.
journalist value from both of us, like I'd be like, yes, let's see him in there. It's
Like
just
Durant,
good
Durant,
media.
Chris Paul, Devin
Right.
Booker,
He'll be
all
in.
that.
They'll be in there. Durant's back.
Yeah, they're
Um,
the fourth seed right now, so
I think they'll
anything could
probably
happen.
climb. They could climb it even a little bit. Well, who's in 3,
Sacramento.
and what is
They're
the game difference?
4 games behind.
Then just kidding.
Yeah.
It's not like they play like baseball where it's like 4 games in a row or something. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it'll be really fun. I think Miami shouldn't be slept on because I feel like Miami's always slept on and then they always surprise people.
Oh yeah.
So don't sleep on Miami. The Bucks, man, what's going on? Because they don't look as strong as I thought they did.
Yeah, I mean they're still the number 1 seed, but
Uh-huh.
they don't
But they got
they don't
blown
look
out by Boston a couple
Boston
weeks ago, right?
a
Or
couple of
like,
nights ago.
yeah, it was bad. Boston looks really, really good. I think it'll be down to those two again. I don't mean Boston and Milwaukee. I do think that Cleveland is really good too, but I think they might just come just short. Um, but I mean Milwaukee's really good still, but they're just not as good. So yeah,
We will see what happens this next week.
it's gonna
Hopefully,
be a fun week.
I think the season ends literally the day after we usually record. I want to
Let's see.
say
I'll check.
it's usually like yeah, the Sunday, April 9th is the last game.
Oh, okay, so that means
So
we'll be able
be
to record
recording.
the day after.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Pelicans play the Kings tonight, and then they play the Grizzlies. Sorry, I just was looking ahead now, but
You're good.
Okay, well, I think that's about gonna do it for basketball. Transitioning to NFL. Zach wants to talk about his thoughts on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I know all of you are over this, but Aaron Rodgers still doesn't reach a deal. There's no deal.
Did you see the NFL memes thing where it was like the trade looking thing, and then it said Jets still haven't traded for him?
Yeah. And I saw another one where it was like Aaron Rodgers has like a full gray beard.
Yeah, I saw that
of the
today.
trade.
Yeah.
So, Green Bay's asking for a lot.
Yeah,
and I really don't like it, and Green Bay is being pathetic.
Well,
so
and it's just funny because like coming from a Green Bay standpoint, wouldn't you just want to get him out?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you take a first and a player or a first and a second and just get him out to make it easier? But I don't know. I think I was starting to feel bad for Green Bay a little bit just because like Aaron Rodgers was treating them like crap. But I'm also like, okay, now you're dragging it out. But this is at least from our perspective, right? We don't know. Maybe Aaron is making it way more difficult. Actually, my bad. Aaron is probably making it way more difficult than it needs to be.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
and I don't think a deal will be reached till during the draft or even midseason next year.
Wow. I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen either during the draft or before, like the days before the draft, because I think that Green Bay is going to want to get this done before the draft. I think the Jets will too, because then if you are a team that has a horrible quarterback and then you go from a horrible quarterback to Aaron Rodgers, that's going to change how you draft. And vice versa. If you're going to team that loses Aaron Rodgers, that's going to change how you draft as well. So I think they're both going to want to get it done before the draft. There's still a little bit of time. So I mean, what, 3 weeks or so? It's in April, right?
It's the last week of April.
Right. So just I hope that it gets done soon too, because again, I'm over talking about what could happen where it's like, let's just get it done. We can talk about what was given up and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then there has been mock drafts been copping out, and it's between CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson for the number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Young's always been at 2 for Houston. So we'll see what will happen with there. But I know
If
the
you were to
trade.
if you were to say right now, like, so the top five, it's Carolina, Houston, and then Arizona, Raiders, and Seahawks. If you were to say, just give me your 5 players that get picked at those top 5.
Stroud, Bryce Young, that D end. Figure where he's
Jalen
from.
Carter,
Yeah. Um, Richardson or Levis. And who's the fifth?
Seattle.
I would say another. I don't know.
I would
I might go
probably.
defense.
I was gonna say, like, I would probably go defense, but if Richardson falls to you at 5 and you're Seattle, I think you have to take him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's gonna be really interesting. I'm actually pretty excited for this draft. There are a lot of players that this draft doesn't seem extremely top heavy. Like, I feel like I could see 1 through 8 to 10. I have a very strong idea of who could go there, but I think 10 down is like a complete free for all. I don't think that
Mm-hmm.
there's a massive drop off. I don't even think there's a massive drop off from the player that goes at 11 and the player that goes at 50. Like, I think
Right.
that that's how good this draft is.
And last year with quarterbacks, Pickett, Willis, Desmond Ritter, all of those
Well, and only one quarterback went in the first
went in the
round.
first round, and
That was Pickett.
3, I think, or 3 were like
Lower. I mean, it
projected
was
top 3 or
right. I
top
mean,
first round. Excuse me.
We thought that Willis would be the first quarterback off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Pickett was the first one off the board. And we also thought that at least 2 or 3 would go in the first round. So I do think that I think 4 quarterbacks go in the first round this year. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, in no particular order. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis will all go in the first round. There's no doubt in my mind because of the teams that are in the first round that are going to want a quarterback.
Yeah, I could see Vegas taking a quarterback too.
Yeah, and you look at teams who have multiple picks too. So like Seattle, they have 2 picks.
Yeah.
Houston have 2 picks. So it's like, why not take a quarterback with one of them?
There was one thing I wanted to look at for the draft, and that's the Colts. Sorry, Vegas has 7.
I thought Vegas had 8.
Vegas has 7. Colts have 4. This is what I wanted to bring up. I could see Indianapolis or Jets, if they can't get an Aaron Rodgers trade done, get Lamar. Change my mind. Change my mind.
I like it, and I think that it makes sense. We talked about this. I think wasn't it? It was Elijah who brought up the Colts last week,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now it's more likely because people have been talking about it more because Atlanta's still in the picture. Indianapolis is in the picture.
Okay,
Jets are
now
still in the picture.
I do not think that Atlanta's in the picture anymore because let me pull up what Arthur Blank said about.
Hell,
Hang
bro,
on.
I think Tennessee's still is in the picture too.
Yeah, if they want to be.
Yeah, if they want to be. Give up Willis or Tannehill.
Okay, so here's what Arthur Blank, the Atlanta Falcons owner, said about Lamar Jackson. Let's see, where's the exact quote? Looking at it objectively, I'd say there's some concern over how long he can play, his style of game. Hopefully a long time, but he's missed 5, 6 games each of the last 2 years. Each game counts a lot in our business. So I think a lot of people took that as he's out. I don't necessarily maybe think that he's out, but I don't think that. I think Atlanta are lower down the list. Even though it probably makes more sense, I think they're lower down the list. I think they like Ritter more than everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that Lamar goes to the Jets. I don't see it.
Really?
Just because they're twerking for Aaron Rodgers so bad. Like it's so clear that they want Aaron Rodgers. I mean, even when they met with Derek Carr, a lot of people thought, oh, he's going to go there. And it sounds like they were kind of like, all right, Derek, well, we like you, but we're kind of waiting for this other quarterback to decide. So if you want to go somewhere else until then that's okay. So I don't know. I mean, while it would make sense, they have good weapons. It'd be a hard division, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
But I do like the Indianapolis shout. Like I think that's a really good shout. Is
I think it's a top move
I
too.
think it is. I mean, you get a like even it would hurt, but like giving Baltimore your fourth overall pick, you could probably give them your one and maybe give them a two and probably a future one. And then
Hmm.
you get Lamar. That's not bad. I mean, and from Baltimore's standpoint, you get a top 5 pick. And if you're Baltimore, you could even use that to trade down and gain more capital because they might just say, you know what, we're good with Tyler Huntley for a year. You know, we'll
I
probably be
don't think
back in
they
the
re
top 10 next year.
did they re-sign Huntley?
Not yet, I don't believe. But I think that they could just be like, we'll keep Huntley for a year, see what he can do. And then if he's not the guy, then we'll probably be back in the top 10 next year,
Hmm.
which next year's quarterback class is just as dangerous.
Yeah, but would you be okay? Another thing I can think about if you're Baltimore, right?
Mm,
Lamar sits out for the year, or he
you,
plays,
you
and he
have to
still
trade
wants to
him.
be traded. Do you wait till next offseason
No.
to
You,
trade him, or wait? Hear me out. Because if I'm looking at Detroit, if I'm Lamar, I'm looking at Detroit, and Jared Goff does really bad this year because Detroit's got weapons, dude. Amon Ra, Jameson Williams, they just got Marvin Jones back.
and I think they're going to draft a tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just, well, how much longer does he have? Well, they franchise tagged him, right?
mhm.
So
So if he's
if
not
if he's not
traded,
traded, then he'll be a free agent.
mhm.
So
But if
Lamar,
I'm
yeah, that'd work
Baltimore,
great. But Baltimore, you have to trade him,
yeah,
and you
if I'm
have to trade
Baltimore,
him
you
before
trade
the
him.
draft. Before the
Yeah.
draft, you have to trade him.
Hmm.
I still think the Commanders are a shout.
Yeah, I think Commanders are in it too.
They
Like
should
I
be.
get, I get, I get. You just signed a veteran, Jacoby Brissett, and you also have not Matt Corral, Sam Howell.
Trade one of the two.
Great one of the two. But
I
I
think
would say Sam Howell should
Sam
stay and
Howell.
compete.
Yeah, but I would also say if they traded for, well, they didn't trade for Jacoby, right? They signed him.
Yeah, they signed to
Um,
a 1 year.
why sign Jacoby and then trade him? I don't think he's as
Hmm.
valuable then.
No.
So you look at Washington has pick 16.
Hmm.
That's not a bad pick for Lamar. Um, let's see. I was gonna go to the second round, but I don't think I can right now. Let's see.
I can.
So they have 16, and
And they
then they
have
have
16 again.
47, and then they have
16 again,
and then
technically.
they have 47 in round two.
Yeah.
So I mean, you trade him those three, and then or you trade like 16, 47, or like 16 around one next year, and then one of your two quarterbacks.
Hmm.
And then you have Sam Howell battle against Tyler Huntley, or they don't re-sign Tyler Huntley, and you have Sam Howell,
Right.
and you have pick 16. So you
But
could
then
draft a wide receiver.
you would have to get weapons for Sam Howell too.
I was gonna say you could draft a wide receiver.
That's true. I would
I
okay.
did
I like
read
your idea now because I think Zay Jones will fall to that pot.
Zay Flowers.
Yeah, Zay Flowers.
I think Smith and Jigba could even fall that low.
I think I
I think wide
think
receivers don't go till later this year.
I think after pick 11, that's when receivers start going.
Who's 11?
Tennessee.
I think Tennessee could take a wide receiver too.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like after pick
Oh yeah,
11,
yeah, starting at 11.
receivers start. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I do think we kind of saw it last year too, is like that run on receivers because we had Wilson and then Olave and then Jamison Williams, right? Was it back to back to back, or was it like back to back and then a couple and then Jamison Williams,
I
right?
can pull it up right now.
Yeah, because Olave went at 12,
Lave
was
went
it?
out 12.
And Wilson went at 11. He went right before him.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. First receiver that was taken
Was Wilson?
was Drake London
Oh, that's right. At 9, were that
at
9?
8.
At
8.
8. Okay,
So when Drake London at 8, Garrett Wilson 10, Chris Olave 11,
that's right.
Jameson Williams 12, and
Yeah,
then Jahan Dotson at 16.
yeah, and I think that'll happen again this year, just later on the draft.
Yeah,
So
and
I
then
think you're
Treylon Burks at 18 when they traded AJ Brown to Philly.
right. So I think you're kind of gonna look at let's pull up that draft order one more time because we haven't had to pull it up enough.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, I think you look at even starting looking at 10. You're telling me that the Eagles couldn't draft another wide receiver if they wanted to? So you have the Eagles at 10, you have the Titans at 11, the Texans at 12, the Jets at 13, Pats at 14. These are all teams, I'm going to keep going. These are all teams that could draft wide receivers. Packers at 15, Washington at 16, Steelers at 17, Lions at 18,
They don't
Bucks
need a
at
receiver.
19. Bucks at 19 probably don't really need one either. And then Seahawks at 20, Chargers at 21, Ravens at 22. That is a huge run of like 12 picks that could all draft a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So
Even Chicago could draft another receiver.
they should.
I think if I'm Chicago, you reunite Smith and Jibba with Fields.
That'd be fire.
Or hell, Stroud gets passed up.
I was
Houston
gonna
takes
say,
Stroud,
yeah.
and then Houston trades up to draft Smith and Jigga.
That's what I was thinking is that if Stroud falls to 2, which is funny we say falls, but like if he drops to 2, I think if you're Houston, you are automatically thinking Stroud and Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, and look at last year when Aiden Hutchinson was projected to go to Jacksonville, but he got fallen down to 2 to Detroit.
And Travon Walker, man, like he was not worth the number 1 overall.
No.
I think the Sauce should have been number 1. When you look at it now, right? You look at it now, Sauce should be number 1 because I think he's a top 5 corner in the league. Not even a rookie, top 5 corner in the league. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited, especially. I'm really interested to see what the Saints are gonna do at 29 because I think that they will probably stay where they're at and just see what falls. They need edge and they need D linemen, but Dennis Allen has shown that he's willing to focus on the offensive side of the ball. Hendon Hooker met with the Saints yesterday, and Jalen Hyatt, the Tennessee wide receiver, met with the Saints today. So, like, if Jalen Hyatt falls, which he probably will, because he's not probably that high, but like if Zay Flowers falls, Jalen Hyatt falls, hell, if somehow Smith and Jigba falls, then I think that the Saints could take one. So it'll be fun. If I'm drafting though, I think unless one of those top guys fall, I'm just gonna take a D lineman because you need it. Yeah. But Saints at 40, I think, or 41, they should draft Hendon Hooker, I think, because I think they're gonna need more options. Jameis is staying in New Orleans for another year, but I don't think he'll stay much longer than that. Yeah. So why not take Hendon Hooker and then let's say Derek Carr doesn't work out, or if he does, but he's aging, then you have Hendon Hooker. So
yeah. And Denver doesn't have a pick till the 3rd round. So
yeah. I bet your mock drafts to watch are really boring, right? Like you can't you gotta scroll.
Yeah. But they do have back-to-back picks, but I think one of those picks will get traded for sure.
Yeah.
Unless you just take 2 players. But
who was the first tight end taken off the board?
Probably Dalton Kincaid or
Mayer.
I
hope for Dalton's sake, I hope that he's the first one off. But I think it'll be either of those 2. I think Darnell Washington drops to the 2nd round because I think that there are a lot of wide receiver needy teams. But anyways, all right. Do you have anything else or are we about good?
NHL playoffs are coming up.
Yeah.
I think we'll go over that more next week just because
once they actually get here.
Yeah. And we'll have Elijah back too for that.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully he's not on any more dates.
With his stepdad. The last game for NHL.
Yeah, I was just trying to pull that up.
I think is in 3rd week of April.
The 13th of April. 13th.
So we will definitely be covering that next week. Yeah, that should be much it. Welcome to April, where it's fucking snowing in Utah. Keeps
dumping, man. I've had 2 snow days in a row.
We both have.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoy your week. A little bit of a shorter episode this week just because there's not a lot of coverage this week. We're sorry. It's not our fault. Don't yell at us.
Try to drag it out a little bit.
Try to drag it out a little bit more. We hope you guys have been enjoying the show. I know I have.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Perfect nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will catch you guys next week. There's gonna be definitely a lot more to cover, we hope,
Yeah.
especially baseball and hockey.
Yeah.
So
And
college
NBA too, because
and
that'll be
NBA
once the
because that'll
week
be
is
the
over.
last.
Yeah.
That's last week. This last week is today. Is this week? Next
Yeah.
Sunday or this
So,
Sunday? Whatever you want to talk about it.
yep.
However you want to say it.
It's coming up.
It's
So,
coming up. But
okay.
we will catch you guys next week. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your Easter as well, because that is a
Yep.
Sunday.
Yep. I'll
And
be
we'll
working.
catch you guys.
Okay. All right.
But
Sounds good.
we'll catch you guys next week. Take it easy, guys.
Okay. See ya.